Hello ladies and gentlemen, Ford here from Ford's Tool Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about the Dewalt DW 920 7.2 volt screwdriver and why this is the absolute worst screwdriver I've ever used. Guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Dewalt, there are some things to be said for Dewalt. First of all, Dewalt has a great, sort of great, they've been floundering. Black & Decker's been doing the same thing. DeWalt's starting to do it. Ryobi, which didn't used to be very good, it's getting better. And American counterparts, who are using Japanese imported parts, are not doing very good right now. So we're going to be doing a sort of review, part 1, of this tool right here, which is the Dewalt DW 920 Type 1 7.2 volt. Service number on this, or serial number on this, is 048526. It has all the compliance and everything. It has the warning to reduce the risk of injury. Use only with DeWalt batteries and charger. Always wear eye protection. Keep away from water. Do not disassemble the unit. Yada yada yada. Same thing on the bottom of the battery here. You have warning. Do not disassemble or insert charger if battery is cracked or damaged. NICD. Do not incinerate. Must recycle. You have this in all of your batteries. Anything that is an NICD battery is going to have this. It even has it on the newer lithium-ion batteries that the Ryobi has. But these are becoming discontinued, and the lithium ions hold a much better charge. They're going to be doing much better work. They're more powerful, as you can hear. But this is a cool little tool. The only problem is it's no longer available. And we're going to be discussing why it's no longer available. And another thing we're going to be discussing is why this is no longer available, and why this is the crappiest tool that DeWalt has ever made. Now guys, before we get started, I know that DeWalt hasn't had a very good reputation for their tools. That doesn't excuse this little piece of crap right here. This is honestly Harbor Freight quality right here. Yeah, it's built tough. It's made out of that bright yellow Ryobi plastic. It just beat the hound out of this thing. It's tough, it's sturdy. But the batteries were the Achilles heel of this tool. This is one of the batteries right here. This is the last one we have that sort of works. Everything else is either broken, disassembled, damaged, cracked, or disintegrated. This thing seems to have some battery power inside of it, so let's go ahead and pop it in. Of course, you have your flex head right here, where I get too rough on this tool, and your adjustment dial, as well as your keyless release chuck, which you push in, as opposed to the Ryobi, you would pull out. Very interesting concept. Let's go ahead and squeeze the trigger for it to move. Now this is going to be tighten, loosen. This thing failed for so many reasons. Number one, this is a tiny freaking motor. Take a look at this motor right here. And that motor right there. Relatively the same size, but much smaller motor for this one. Another thing that was a fail for this tool, even though you did have the ability to move it up and down at your leisure, and you did have your power adjustment right here where you could get to it, it still doesn't do this horrible tool any justice, because this is how fast it would turn. This thing goes way faster. This is an impact. Same thing for the drill. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Another reason that this failed is if you try to use one of these inside of a plank of wood, which we're about to demonstrate, it's terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. Let me go ahead and grab the bit here, and we'll show you what I mean. Well, that'll be for a different video, actually. But take my advice, guys. There's a reason that Dewalt discontinued this. This thing was struggling when I was putting in a screw inside of this board where the Ryobi had absolutely no problem. The Dewalt corded drivers have no issue with this. So I'm kind of wondering to myself, okay, well, what's the difference between Ryobi? Oh, it's in the impact. And the Dewalt. Well, obviously power. Not one of Dewalt's best designs. The release was kind of weird. You push in, it lets go. You push it in, it holds on. Really doesn't move that fast either. Where if you put it in this thing, yeah, it's not going to be much faster. But see, it's doing much better. Keyless chuck, I mean, much better of a drill. And even if you were to compare it to the impact, which is not in the same class, pull that out, pop it in. You're getting much more RPMs. There you go. Take that light out of your eyes. Sorry about that, guys. Even with a Dremel, I mean, you've still got a motor that's running at least 5,000 RPM. So, this is not very good. It says 500 RPM. This thing is a joke. It's a joke. I'm glad Ryobi got rid of this thing. Or, I'm sorry, I'm glad Dewalt got rid of this thing. It's a joke. The battery's too small. Who's going to use this? It's a piece of junk. The only thing I can think of if you needed to do something with this, where's my bit? My bit holder. There it is. If you were to literally get on a fastener, again, good luck with this freaking tool, but let's say you really wanted to get on a fastener and you had a screw. Here's a screw right here. And let's say that I take this thing out of a vise, which is going to be part 2, but this thing is an absolute joke. Grease. I need to put grease on this vise. I got this screw right here. See, I want to screw all the way downward. I can't, because it has a 50-50 chance of having enough power to barely make it down the marks. Oh my gosh, it's actually trying to screw it in. Oh, it's not cutting the mustard. It's not doing the job. This was a joke by Dewalt. You know what this tool was made for? I'll tell you what this tool was made for. This tool was made for if you run a toy factory and you have to have, because look, I can take my regular drill here or my Impact Ryobi brand. Everyone gives crap to Ryobi, but here's the thing, guys. Anything's better than what I was just using. Screw's going to be hot, so I need to be careful. Yup, burned me a little bit. It's alright. Or even the Impact. The Impact driver. This thing. I'll be showing you guys this in a separate video. Very quick installation. Very quick. Very, very quick. Get on top of that fastener. Get on top of that fastener. By the time you take it out, it's hot to the touch. So, you know you're throwing some real power at this thing. Where this Dewalt right here, this piece of junk right here. It wouldn't even do the job. It couldn't handle the job. Really gotta say that I love Dewalt's concept, but I'm hoping that they step their game up. I think we got this about 5 or 6 years ago, so it's maybe not be the same thing, but I love Dewalt's concept, but they just didn't put a big enough motor in this thing. It's the same thing with my little Dremel. Let's say that I'm using my Dremel. Well, it's roughly the same size, but look, even though it's a plug-in, it's actually smaller. And I'm kicking at least 500 RPMs full tilt, and I've got a drill bit in here that I can literally run in this Dremel tool the same way. I can pull the stone out, put the Dremel drill head in here, and I can do pretty much the same thing. Let me see if I can get this bit out. Or screw. Cool? Okay, it's starting to cool off. A little hot. And I'm still throwing around 5,000 RPM. So this Dewalt, I'm not even going to sugarcoat. Ow, that's hot. I'm not going to even sugarcoat it, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is a joke. I would not recommend buying this thing, even if it was still available. The Dewalt, this thing is a joke. It's sad. The only thing I would recommend you buy this for is for those little screws that you have in toys. It has power, don't get me wrong, it has a little bit of power, but for doing a job and trying to cut the mustard, so to speak, in the job, this is a do not collect, do not buy, don't even touch, stay away from it. It frick out of here. It's just bad. So I said get the heck out of here if anyone's wondering. But it's the worst Dewalt tool that I've ever done a review on. Guys, if you want to step up your game and you want to get some actual tools, Dewalt. Power tools are great. Battery operated, hit or miss. Ryobi, excellent. Milwaukee, good. Black & Decker, they've had some problems, but they're a lot better than the Dewalt I just reviewed. My biggest thing is, like I said, unless you're buying a bunch of toys and you run a toy factory or whatever, I would definitely not buy that tool. You can get so many other brands with better results for just a little bit more money, especially Ryobi, and it would be much more beneficial to you. Anyway, guys, that's my review of the Dewalt DW920. This one's going to get a 1.5 for me. I can't give it a 0 because, well, at least it worked. But actively avoid this tool. Don't buy it. It's not. If they don't sell it anymore, thank goodness they don't, because it's honestly not worth what you'd be paying $60, $70, even $80 for this tool, or even $40. It's not worth it. Go with some higher up brand Ryobi stuff if you guys want a power tool that runs on a battery. I just can't. I can't even recommend this thing. Don't even try to buy it, because I'm telling you, I'm telling you guys, this thing is awful. It's way underpowered. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'm Ford, and we will see you guys on the next review. Take care, and peace.